to the CS Cafe, where we do a little storytelling, mix a little poetry, and seduce your mind. Welcome back. Men oftentimes have the hardest time realizing that they've been victimized because society tells them over and over again that knocking off an older woman is an honor. And I'm going to give you a little piece I like to call Badge of Honor. Hills cry out in darkness, but no one listens. Young boys playing video games, talking shit against the mic. Young mothers paying serpents to wreck the home. Young fathers' explanation to young men is taken like a badge of honor. The hunter always catches the prey that never sees it coming. Young men stay hunted within the family amongst the den of thieves. I began to listen and study. He told me he was 8 years old the first time his cherry got popped, fantasizing over his 18-year-old babysitter who seemed so respectful around his parents, but would walk around butt naked around him. A fetishist for lack of intimacy among adults went unknown. She felt his growing wood would give her what she needed, and she took it upon deception, always telling him how his mother would believe her lies over his truth, so he better do as she do. He went through that abuse till graduation, never had a real relationship, always seeking validation like Pavlov's reward system. Sex became transactional, and he beat any woman who thought to tell. He was never himself. Couldn't identify his trauma, so he became the trauma for others. He became the tornado that spinned around, picking up bodies and dropping them across many towns, not ever knowing their name. He was trying to change, but his past never let him be free. He jumped back into bed with his old enemy. No one told him as a man it was okay to say, "I don't feel safe." Well, I wish he knew anyway. I got a little closer to the truth. He said he was 13 when his godmother decided to tease him with her voluptuous titties, and oftentimes bent over when they were alone. Parents were long gone on dates, and what harm could it be with his mother's best friend? Had known her all his life. Her attraction to him became poison only a viper can inject once bitten. Games played turned into, "I'm just teaching him how to be a man." Always came with the excuse of, "At least he's not gay." His friends thought he was the man, knocking off his mother's best friend, not realizing the grooming started the moment he saw her with x-ray vision. Always daydreaming of her salted caramel skin pressed against his as back shots gave him seniority to the other players. Hiding out during family gatherings trying to get a taste of her. He tried to get her out his mind, but he had a hard time trying. Couldn't accept the truth that she attempted to make him a lost cause. Parents would never believe Satan held hands with mother, pledging the same sorority but defiling her best friend's children. He couldn't function. Got so hyper-fixated on sex that it became his identity. She gave him treats for her trick. He compared every woman after to his first time. It wasn't his first time, because that was stripped for a boy who dreamed of liking a girl his age and going all the way together. He was raised by demons who took his voice, and the only way he could express his praise was drowning in between thighs of those he never recalled names. Wondered how it would have been if he'd only had that choice. I cry for him at midnight. He wears his body count like a badge of honor, but doesn't comprehend that his first body wasn't his to carry. I stayed there listening to men being humbled. In the mix, the next one got up. He told me she liked him ever since open house. She planned her seduction to a freshman in 4th period biology class, asking if he wanted a snippet introduction into anatomy and would give him a hands-on approach to lab days, never comprehending the cadaver wasn't deceased. She had studied his social cues. She often taunted him with bad grades, always promising extra help if he did one-on-one sessions. Sessions turned into a spiral of infidelity and lack of boundaries. What he thought was a clear boundary of teacher and student became a well faulty enough to grown into a deceptive relationship. Pregnancy after pregnancy, and no one knew but them. Even college came with doubt, for freedom was not easy to obtain. Who helps the boy traumatized by women? Boys are taught that being sexualized by women is a badge of honor. Although we have grown from a society where male teachers degrade young girls, we we have flipped the predator, hunting young boys who were not taught where not to touch. Life couldn't function well for him, so he stayed to himself, always wondering if someone else was a prey. He became the hunter. Police report after police report, stacking charges on a rap sheet. The psychological damage done to an aspiring mind was fulfilled. Our young men are being hunted. Society keeps the boys quiet for telling the truth as cap. We tell our boys they loved it, they wanted it, are proud of them for staying in it. Never that they were harmed and that the ability to open up is not weak. Our young men are being hunted, never given the tools to identify the problem, steady becoming the menace to max the problem, functioning but never healing, never feeling safe enough to open up without being judged. While people feel blaming your trauma is an excuse not to take accountability, some men never come to terms that the start was the trauma, the mid was the traumatic response, and the end, if they ever get there, is freedom. We do a disservice teaching gender separately the rules of life. We could have saved more men from hypersexuality if we would have taught them that most young men experience trauma first by a babysitter. The first demon your son will have ever met has already been in your house first.
Thanks for tuning in to the CS Cafe. Did we ride your mind tonight? Did you feel good? Tune in next time because you don't wanna miss this.